Hello everybody, welcome to my workbench on part 6 of receiver, matched receiver. So you can see how far I got. Mainly I succeeded to build the receiver complete. That was it. Well, what we have done is, let's just turn around a little bit. So what I've done now is, apart from our BFO oscillator, it has to be done, and we'll do that tomorrow. I'm a bit tired now. So this morning I went all through this again, so I have to recheck all the connections, that everything is in its place and there's no mistakes. If we have done that, we can proceed with making the BFO, and then I will connect them up with my power supply on the bench, because I have not yet put in my power transformer. And there he is. He's not in there yet, so well, I can remember I told you I would do that later at the last moment. Another thing that is not in there is a valve for rectifying. I have that in there either, so I think I will use 4 diodes for that. There's only one disadvantage, the voltage will run up here in this capacitor, so I have to think about that, how I'm going to fix that. There is room to put another valve in, but that won't be a big one, an American one, an 80 or something like that. The first thing I don't have an 80, I have a European valve to put in there. It's a lot smaller, but I don't want to do that because it will bring the receiver out of context, and I don't want it has to be looking like as it should. The valves should be matched with each other, so that's very important to me. Well, I put the output transformer underneath here, so he's in there. So well chaps, only thing I have to do this oscillator will be probably a Colpitts oscillator. It's very stable. It's also the intention of having that. A very good experience with that. So that will be it. I will test that on 455 kilohertz. I will feed that with my power supply first. Check that out if that excuse me, oscillator will work. And then we take it a step further. Then we go to power up the whole radio, put all the valves in, and then as I said in the last part 5, I will align those coils, EF coils. When then it's done, we can test if the BFO is working, and then we are on the part of putting our power supply in place. Our transformer, get the bottom part connected up, get our frequency counter connected up, and yeah, and then we're there, I suppose. So I will finish this part of the video and come back to you if I have some news on this oscillator, BFO oscillator. Probably will show you how it works. And then probably we'll together line up those cans, EF cans. I suspect I've been working with some cans and put them on 455. It could be possible they are on 455 already, so that limits the work we have to do. So anyway chaps, I have now made a change on the top part. I'll stop the video for a moment and I'll show you. Now we're back, and as you can see there's another knob, additional knob came in there. And we have a tuning here, and that will be an additional tuning. The only thing is, when you tune this, the oscillator will be on frequency, and I will deduct from this counter 455 kilohertz of the displayed frequency. So to get up to the frequency we want, this oscillator will be turned up higher. So for instance, I go at 3.5 megahertz, then I will turn the oscillator up to 3954 or 55, something like that. And then with my extra tuning capacitor, I'll give more capacitance on the reception side, on the RF and the mixer valve, so that the frequency will drop below that 3955. Yeah, and then we tune that side down, so it comes down on the frequency we wanted to receive, 3.5, and that will work. I tested that already. See, this is a very old system they used in the 1920s, beginning till 30s, I suppose. Then we had radios with an oscillator or and an RF section, and they would tune that separately. So they tune that one, and until something came out of it, to put it that way. So we're going to do that also, but with that difference, we can see on our display, on our frequency counter, I have to put in still. Here, another holes, I have to make that up a little bit. So that is not bad. Otherwise I will cover it up, no problem. Then we can see here on the display what frequency you are at. So say I want to make a QSO on 35445. I can display that on that, can tune this to reception, and there we go. But if you are to transmit, you turn them off frequency. You have no damage on your receiver. When you finish with transmitting, you put them back, and that's it. So that's the idea behind it. I will turn it around a bit so you can see how it looks. There you go. You can see here the tuning capacitor. So I connected it up to the reception part, the RF and the mixer. Yeah, that's all I have to tell at the moment. So, in actual fact, I could put in now the valves, all of them. I could start it up and do that, but I'm not going to do that yet. Yeah, not until this is done altogether. All right. So, yeah, and then we're going to do this, and then we have to get a crack at our S meter. I had some reading about that done, and well, it's not a very difficult subject, but there again I wanted to work that it works accurately, so we'll see. Okay, so I will stop now with this video, and then I'll come back to you when I have more. Alright? Hi guys, well, I put in the frequency counter in a different way, of course, and I moved them up to the right. Sorry about that. So it was located first here on the left hand side. So I moved them up because of the tuning capacitor. It has to be up here. So I connected them up to what's it called? Tektronix constant amplitude signal generator. So that's that one. And as you can see, he's rolling around as well. So it's not very. You see, he goes up and down a little bit. Even if he's on now for say 20 minutes, and it's still going all the way around, so my oscillators are not that bad after all. So anyway, you can see how far I got. The frequency guides are operational. There is my power supply. I use that section here. That's the low voltage section, and you have here an ammeter for low volts, and I have here the high volt section. That's on there. I have to use that switch for that to employ this. So I can put up to 350 volts. I can put up on 60 or 70 milliamps. So that's what I'm going to use a bit further on. So I just wanted to show you this, that this is working and how it looks, and it looks really nice. So I will conclude this this part, okay? I'll come back to you when I have some more, okay? Well, chaps, I back again. I finished the circuit from the BFO. I have here a little wire to put our frequency counter on. This is just capacitive then, and then we have our tuning capacitor down there. I've all wired them up. I put the valve in already. I had to go with my quadripper, and he goes from 440 kilohertz to something about what will that be, of have a look, so it's 1.3 megahertz, so that's a very short range, and I had to go with it, and he meter dipped on 455 kilohertz. So the next thing we're going to do is to hook him up on this power supply. As you know, the power transformer is not in there yet, so I hook him on my power supply, and then we hook him up on the frequency counter that I have here, and I set it all up, and then together we'll have a look if indeed the EF frequencies come out that we want, as well underneath as above. So that what I mean by that is that he goes to 420 and at least to 480 kilohertz. So that we have the control over the pitch, if you know what I mean. So this part will be coupled to the grid here somewhere. So I think that one here, on that point, will be coupled to, so I will put a bit longer wire and just twist them around there, and that should be supplies enough signal to work for single sideband or for CW. Yeah. So there you go. So far so good. I will shut down, go to bed, very important, and when I get up tomorrow morning I will have a go at testing this circuit. I put the valve in there already, and then we see what comes up, and from there I will go to tuning the Afghans and so on and so on, and then hopefully we have a working receiver. Anyway chaps, that was it for this day, and I'll come back to you, the night will be over and I will be in a new day. So I'll see you later, and I wish you all the best and a very good sleep this night, okay? Hello everybody, welcome back to my workbench on our receiver. As you know, we had a good night's sleep, and I promise you to show you what the oscillator is doing. So I managed to get them all together. As you know, in the previous part, I connected them up on the power supply. I heated the valve up and I'm going to put on the voltage on. It is on about 150 volts. So I switch on now. And then you see he has 427 kilohertz. And that's maximum capacity. So it's lower than the 455. So I'm going to turn the knob now on the capacitor and you see him go up. .455, so that is our EF frequency. Yeah, and then we go up further. And we go to 471, so that's more than enough to pitch this BFO. So you can see it works stable. You see, there you go. So I'm quite happy with this. Yeah, okay. I'll shut the camera down for a minute and reposition him and then show you what I have done, okay? Hi guys, well, I was testing the oscillator before I start off on the BFO oscillator. I was testing that, so I want to show you that the main oscillator works as well. So we are on band 1, 668 kilohertz. I will turn him up. And he goes up, and he goes up, and he goes up. Well, the mid-wave we have, that's for sure. Now we come on the 160 meters. There you go, 1.8 megahertz. Look how stable that is. He doesn't run off, so as the other receivers. So that's what I want to accomplish. So we go up to the highest of the band, fast. So we get at 2.4, nearly 2.5 megahertz in the first band. Now we go to the second band. We are up to 5.3, so it's nearly 5.4 megahertz. So we can turn them back. We are past 80 meter band. There we go, 80 meter band. Now we go down further, 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 further. Now even past the 160 meters, I come back into the mid-wave. That's not bad. That's not bad, is it? 1400 kilohertz. So for the third band, we are at the lowest at 2.5, and that's concerning the 40 meters. So we see how low we are. And we still can cover the 80 meter band. And we go up to past the 40 meter band. Yeah. And you go up to nearly 10 megahertz. Fourth band, we are up top at 70 megahertz. Exactly what I wanted. And I'll turn them down. And we go past the 77 megahertz, so the 40 meter band. Well, mismatch, you would have the 80 meter band as well. So how about that for coverage? So we can receive from the megahertz, from the mid-wave until, say, past the 20 meter band. I think I'm satisfied with that. At least I don't want to go higher than the 20 meter band. See what we can come up with. 18 megahertz is yeah, I'm satisfied with that. I would say, well, why don't you put them further up? You can an additional band. I don't want to do that because the switches are not capable of doing that. But you can see this oscillator is like a rock. It's really like a rock. He is really good. The higher band is a bit of drift still, but that is because I just switched on. And I'm on a low voltage, so up to 140 volts, so I put them up to say 250 volts, and then we'll have perhaps a bit more stability. Yep, so see how far he goes up now. Let's have a look a bit higher voltage, if he goes higher. Nah, he's not going higher. Well, if you had 40 megahertz, say at 420 meter band, there you go. I'm not doing anything now. You see it's 1439, as well the CWS. Let's see what he does if he starts wobbling around. I don't believe really. Yeah, should be okay. How about that, chaps? Nice, isn't it? Okay, now I showed you that as well. So the next part of the video will be about the BFO, okay? I'll see you then. Oh, there you are. You can see I connected up the voltage, the counter, the frequency counter, and I'll show you my, if it is possible, without me hook. Yeah. I have to reposition again, so I will try. So I'll go that way a bit. There we go. And then we turn them to the meters on the right. I will zoom in a bit. I'm max already, so I can't further. So I don't know if you can see. There's this annoying lead in the way. Aye, come on, get away. Hold on, chaps. I'll move it without causing any problems, hopefully. There we go. As you can see, where's my pencil? My big hand is not very useful. So as you can see, there's the voltmeter here. He's standing now at 140 volts. So that means that will work properly. 455, okay. I was just checking. I have no current, about 2 or 3 milliamps flowing through that valve. So anyway, guys, so far so good. Oops, there we go. I'll get them a bit more central. I'll refocus. Hopefully it's, yeah, it's in focus now. Anyway, that's that for our BFO oscillator. There's a Colpitts setup, so he's very stable. And I will stop it now and then come back to you when I that far to realign the IF, so I have to do that in the same manner. So I will use the power supply for that, and if I am successful in that, I will build in the power supply itself and put it back on the radio. I got myself a nice speaker, so I will fit in there. So there he is. There you go, you can see it. Not in focus, but there we go. The little speaker I will put in the back of the radio for dizzy and size. I'll measure it for you. There's a diameter from 4 inches, so about 4 inches, and so this here is that 11 centimeters approximately. So we put that one in as well, and then we on our way to having a nice radio, and then we test the radio. But before we can test this radio, we have to build ourselves an antenna. Yes, that's right. I have a loop antenna for 80 meters, but that's not sufficient. This radio will work all over the band, so say from mid-wave until up to probably 18 megahertz, something like that. So I have to cover all the lot. So what I will do is get myself a reception loop antenna. There's a difference. It's not tuned. It has a balloon in there, that's all. And we will build that together. So I will show you how to do that. So for now I will shut down, and I will come back to you on part 7 with the aligning from the IF cans if necessary, and then the fix up from the power supply, putting in the speaker, get our signal meter alright, so we can measure the signal coming in and get our frequency counter and all that. So there's quite some bits to do, so, and I'll promise you I will make a video about that loop antenna, and we will build that together. For now I will stop the video, and I'll see you then when it's that far with the radio, okay? Bye bye.